Says you are live. What's going on, everybody? Back again. We are in the new year, and I'm just so happy that we're in this new year, and hopefully it's better than last year. And got a lot. We were backed up, so there's a lot to talk about. Anything in the chat that you guys want to talk about, or guys or ladies want to talk about, let us know in the chat. And this is going to be a real freestyle, and then next week we'll have a more structured, the usual show with Carlito's rundown and everything. But we're just gonna try to catch up right now. And shout out to Holly Horn. Much love to you. So guys, how we doing? No game today, by the way.
Are you wearing a Knicks jersey? Knicks?
Yeah.
Shirt?
Representing, baby. Even though they losing and Julius Randle's is not on my best my good list right now.
You might as well put yourself one of those Democrats jersey and put it on.
Oh Lord. Never that.
I thought we were gonna be happy today.
I know, right? I thought we was gonna be happy today.
Put them on since you love supporting losers.
Told you 2022, man.
Yo, so let me while we get started, let me see. I'm gonna share my screen over here. Video. Oh no, I clicked on the wrong thing. Anybody else want to talk about anything while I set this up?
Wait, so you said that he was mad that the fans were like booing him or whatever or cursing him?
Yeah. So he put
like
the thumbs down, huh?
Yeah,
he
apologized the next day.
He apologized,
exactly
but
what
like
these dudes from the Mets did. What's his name?
Exactly. That's exactly. They kept comparing. I didn't know about it until this situation happened, and then they kept comparing it to that situation.
I just don't want to.
That's already horrendous, man. I couldn't imagine what they were saying to him. You guys suck.
At the end of the day, is these people, you want to play in a big market, you got to be able to. It comes with the territory.
Well,
you can't
say nothing back. You can't express yourself too.
If they boo you,
you're supposed to play well.
They are paying for a product.
Thank you.
The product is terrible.
Okay.
The product is terrible. I get it. Like, now, if there's some fans that get crazy, call your name.
Yeah.
No. But if they booing you because you are not living up to their expectation, they pay for that.
The Giants can take it.
They don't just boo. What else were they saying? Okay. They probably talk about his mama.
Yeah, all right. They only do that to Trey Young.
Yo,
I want to shift the topic.
Playing and they were like chanting F Trey Young. He wasn't even playing that game.
Oh yeah, they did chant him.
That's the kind of fans they got.
They have to have something to share themselves on.
I know I said we're gonna freestyle, but I lied. I'm gonna switch over to politics now because I know Holly's in the chat.
The sport junkies.
Yeah, so let's talk about some politics stuff. So this is a tweet. I got a ton of bookmarks that I wanted to discuss, so we just gonna go through a whole bunch. Let me put you guys on the side of this.
Is he wearing a Nick?
Here we go. So this is the guy who killed Daniel Shover, and his punishment, they said, is getting retired at 28. This is the cop.
Who's that?
And this is the retired cop. He was retired from the force with a tax-free pension worth $31,000 a year for life after murdering Daniel Shover. Phillips' attorney argued he suffered from PTSD after killing the unarmed and compliant. I think that's the guy that was crawling on the floor. He basically did like the Squid Games with this guy in the hotel where he told the guy it was like
that guy.
Deadly Simon Says, yeah. He's telling the guy, yeah. It's like a Deadly Simon Says. You guys remember? Everybody
I remember now. Wow, that's all he got? That guy should be. Oh my God. That dude was doing everything that the cop was saying. That dude was on the only power trip. He was playing Simon Says. Like I said.
Carlito, your audio is messed up again. So hold on. Let me tell a little bit about the story while you fix your audio. So basically, this is a situation. They were in a hotel and somebody said they saw somebody with a gun. The person actually had a BB gun, and the cops went and came out the hallway, and then they was telling him, like, get on the floor, put your hands up. They was telling him all these different things, and then they're like, you're not doing it correctly. And then the cop shot him, killed him, while the person was complying. Daniel Shover.
This was in a hotel?
Yeah. It was on video.
Nowhere to go, and they shot him anyway?
Yep. They shot him anyway. Matter of fact, let me show the video while we are here. Let me just click on here.
Wait, hold on. You're gonna show the shooting video? I don't think that's.
Nah, I don't want to show this. Is not a snuff podcasts, but snuff videos. But I think we can at least show the beginning. I don't think they showed the killing.
No,
this is the Washington Post. So.
On the Post.
But you can see this is the guy right here with the gun, the cop, and then this is Daniel Shaver on the floor.
Shaver.
Yeah, I'm sure I'm not pronouncing it right. Let's see. Right, here we go. This video contains graphic content.
You have it muted.
Oh, is it muted?
No. The web player. The web player.
Okay, hold on 1 second. Sorry, guys. You know what? I gotta put share system also. All right, so boom, boom, and then boom. Oh, no. I don't think there's any sound in this. Oh, there we go. Okay.
Put both your hands on the top of your head and interlace your fingers.
You can hear it?
Mm-hmm.
Take your feet and cross your left foot over your right foot. Who else is in the room? Nobody. Stand by me. All right.
You could probably pause it there. We get the. I mean, he's not even moving. The dude is not even moving. Like, that's
everybody's
crazy.
good. You got the picture.
These guys have freaking assault rifles. Like, I don't want to see the rest of this crap.
It's going to go on for another 4 minutes or so, probably.
And he was like complying and everything.
Yo, he was complying.
He's a
man.
freaking. He's like a. I don't know.
He's a monster.
Like, how do you get acquitted like that for like?
Not acquitted. He got early retirement.
He got early retirement. He got rewarded. So
he's getting paid to leave the force.
38,000. Wow. So he could go make minimum wage, but he's getting supplemented 38,000 for life. So he's good.
That's crazy.
It's absolutely nuts, and that's gonna cop culture.
He had PTSD, so he's the victim here.
Yeah.
The victim of his own crime. How does that make any sense?
That's
like the whole influenza thing.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, man.
It's nuts. All right, so I know we said happy episode, but this might not be a happy episode, yo.
When is it ever?
Let's go to this next clip.
Yeah, if Biden's on the screen, then it's not happy.
Of rigged, how the media, big tech, and Democrats seized our elections.
I want to fast forward just to the crazy part that this guy was saying.
Well, I think besides 80, which was actually close, Kennedy almost did successfully primary Jimmy Carter. Since then, we've never seen anybody seriously challenged. And then you look at it, it's kind of like the NFL, and you have a quarterback that's really struggling right now. If you had this great #1 pick backup that could jump in and save the day, that's one thing. But the Democratic bench is so profoundly mediocre. When you look at Plan B, if that's Kamala Harris, USA Today had her at 28% approval at one point. I think she's actually climbed to 32% approval, but that still ain't good. And then Pete Buttigieg still hasn't even reached the age of 40, and he's got a supply chain crisis on his resume now. And then you just go down the list in terms of who could pick off Joe Biden in this case. And the only person I could think of that would actually give him a run for his money is Hillary Clinton, the 2016 nominee. But who knows if
Hillary Clinton, yeah. I thought we was done with this girl, man. What happened? What's going on?
Yeah, the guy said the bench is so bad, and they said the only one I could think of is Hillary Clinton.
I'm saying we're listening to Fox News. But do you expect them to give any kind of real feedback?
But for like 30 seconds, he was making sense. It was weird, but he was making sense. It was very weird.
The first thing I said, about Harris, it was making sense, and then I don't know why he thinks. I don't know why he's blaming supply chain on Pete, but
because they
can't drive the ships.
Democrats.
I mean, it's
I mean, I think she would run again if all they need is for the media to be on her side and like, yeah, we should get Hillary Clinton back in. Yeah. No, Joe Biden's old, Hillary Clinton's old. Who cares? Let's bring them all back.
Who is going to vote for her? Who's going to vote for her?
Nobody's going to vote for this shit.
Like, I mean, if they bring her back, that's just like they just basically throwing in the towel.
They throw it in the towel. They're spitting in progressive faces. They don't care about winning against Trump.
They just think that, like last time, this was the thought last time. It's like, oh, if it's Trump, then maybe she could win. They lost, but this time be like, well, Trump is even worse this time, so maybe now she has a chance. I don't think she's dumb enough to run.
No, I think that she, like all politicians, if there's an avenue, if the people want her to run, she would run. But she knows she tried this in 2016, 2020.
What people?
Huh?
What people?
What you mean? If the people like, so what I mean, even the establishment, you don't even, not even the people as in the citizenry. I'm talking about even Washington, D.C. If those people thought she could win, she would run again. Because she I don't think she cares that much about the people necessarily.
The things that, like, I just want to make sure emphasize what you mean by people, but she thinks she could win. I mean, she swears that she could win. So it's not about what she thinks. It's like the reality of it is she's going to like get destroyed. Like, they talked about, they pushed Biden down her throat. He's electable. People, a lot of people swallowed their pride, and he barely won.
Yeah. So we about to start the show, though. And as soon as we start the show, I got some other videos, but I want to shout out Holly Horn. Everybody looking good, Holly. Thank you so much. Yeah, that was definitely disturbing. I saw that. There are no consequences, not even mediocre. Yep. All right, so let's get this show started.
Oh, Bedon is running it.
Yeah, he's running the music.
They got a real DJ.
Yo, what's up, everybody? 8 o'clock, back again in the new year. First show of the new year. And this is going to be a show where it's not structured like usual because we got so much to catch up on. So anything you all want to talk about in the chat, let us know. And I'm going to be going through some of the stuff from the last 4 weeks or so and just commenting on different various things. But like usual, I will say, let's go around the horn, say what's up to the people. Bendone, how you doing, my man?
Good night. Excited to be back.
Producer extraordinaire, good to have you back. Good to get back into the swing of things. John, how you doing?
I'm good. We're about a week away from Virginia becoming the next Texas. And we are about 10 months away where the Democrats just start losing.
Oh man.
That's
a good question. We're going to discuss that. Can the Democrats turn their ship around? We're going to come back to that. Izzy, how you doing? I know your answer. I guess I know your answer.
Yes, you do. John just depressed me with that one. I was just gonna say, but don't just make my 2022. When he hit that button and he was so surprised to see the music actually worked, I was like, oh man, we're off to a good start this time. Super happy about it.
Practice.
Let's go.
The DJ.
Let's do it. Carlito, how you doing, my man? Hope you don't. Yeah, hopefully you don't freeze again. That's the truth. Yeah, I know.
Well, that's Trey Young.
Oh no! That's you freeze because you froze twice already. You have to jump out and come back in. So hopefully you don't freeze again. All right, Maya is in the chat. Much love,
Mia.
Ay, mamma mia.
Dios mío.
Are you serious?
Are you
Mia
serious?
is in the chat. Hi, happy to see you guys.
I guess nothing has changed in 2021.
we was close. We was getting there.
Hey, Maya from Paris, friends. How are you?
Much love to you, Mia. Holly Horn. Yeah. All right. So let me show this next video.
Happy New Year.
Now, this is a special request from somebody on tweet. They put John and I don't know if did they know? How did they find out, Carlito, that this is you, man? I don't know, unless you put it out there. But they said, please use this on your next podcast.
That's Lewis.
Oh, you know what? I didn't even notice.
It's just the fact that
you guys
was kind of mob-like.
Fellow Knicks fan.
Yeah. I just saw you went and looked at it. Okay, I just realized. All right, you guys can hear it? Ready?
Yeah.
All right.
This kind of mob-like behavior has got to stop before somebody gets hurt. Violence, intimidation, unacceptable in this country.
It's not a protest. These aren't children. These are adults.
and they're destroying our country.
I think what is so jarring to so many Americans right now is just the fact that there's so much lawlessness. Why isn't anybody stopping the looting and the vandalism and the destruction of private and public property?
That giant lie handicapped the police, so they couldn't do a damn thing to stop the riots without being accused of attacking mostly peaceful protesters. These include people who threw projectiles at cops,
screaming the most disgusting things in their faces, an inch away from their face.
Fuck you, police!
Someone with long hair with a flag hitting someone else. You know, all of this violence.
How is rioting, throwing things at police officers, how does this solve anything?
This isn't just an attack on police. Think about it. It's an attack on the rule of law, on civilization itself.
I don't understand the rioting, the looting. I understand peaceful protests, and I think most people do. But when it comes to all this violence, people throwing things at each other, enough is enough.
well, they're willing to create violence and riots just to win an election.
And they're not taking this White House, we're going to fight like hell, I'll tell you right now.
That's pretty scary.
Other countries, many, when folks disagree with an election, they riot. We don't do that, or at least most of us don't.
What you guys think?
I was so confused. Was that a parody or was it like real?
So what they did is they took Fox News reporting on the Black Lives Matter protests and they put the Trump video.
So it was a parody.
So finally somebody did it. It took long enough, but it's funny because everything that they were talking about is what they did. So
and then you heard about, I don't know if you guys saw recently how Ted Cruz got called out by Tucker Carlson, about when Ted Cruz rightfully said that these guys were terrorists on January 6th. Not all, there were people who planted pipe bombs. So I'm sorry, like that's terrorist actions, right? 100%. So he got called. Tucker Carlson was saying, "Oh, why are you calling them, terrorists? They're not." And he actually equivocated to Tucker Carlson. So
you know what that is, right?
What's that?
That's Tucker eliminating a primary challenger.
Yeah, I think I would agree with that.
No, it's like the guy schooled him. He was like, no, you were not lying. What was he say? It's like, I know
you're too smart to make a mistake.
Exactly.
Yeah, I know you too well. You choose your words carefully because you're a lawyer. But let me ask you guys this question. It seems like, do you think I'm hearing that Trump is losing his power because, so for example, he said he got the booster shot and people in the crowd was booing, and now he lost Alex Jones. Alex Jones is going after Trump right now. Candace Owens, exactly. So do you think that his power is waning, and would he be strong enough to run in a primary?
I think the Republican Party is going to realize that they could win without Trump. And I think they're going to find a way to implement the 14th Amendment, Session 3, to have him not run. And I see, a lot of people talk about DeSantis and stuff like that. But don't sleep on if they could put somebody like the new Virginia governor, Youngkin, even if he doesn't have a lot of experience, they could flip Virginia. Virginia is now, back to being a purple state where it was very blue. So they may run on that. Like, they think the playbook is the Virginia playbook. Keep Trump, at hands, but like don't go and seek his support. And if they could see that, if the 2022 they could turn some races and win that way, I could see like a Youngkin or something like that in 2024 running.
I don't see it because Youngkin, he was still using Trump. He was not talking about him publicly, so the people that are not Trumpers aren't put off. But he was still courting the Trump voters.
Yeah,
so
he was, but he wasn't. He wasn't like.
Yeah, because he wanted to keep he wanted that crazy vote and he wanted that less crazy vote. So by not saying Trump's name specifically, he was getting both.
That's what I'm saying to you.
But I don't think he can run. But the reason I don't think he can win like that is because he still needs those people to vote for him. And so the way that I think somebody else could run is by taking Trump's voters away. So it will be a DeSantis or a Tucker Carlson to be the new face of the MAGA QAnon people. and they're because that's the only way right now to win the primary. So
I agree with you.
So I think they could say that they could win without Trump, but it's by co-opting the Trump movement because some people are not believing in Trump anymore because of taking the vaccines and stuff like that. So they'll still be the same crazy people with a new leader.
But I think the whole critical race theory is going to play a big role on it. They're going to believe it. He ran on that. He won on that. I'm not saying Youngkin it could be, but I'm just saying like if they realize that 2022 they could get some of those candidates like that, and you still use both. Get the Trumpers, or get the ones that are not as bad as Trumper, and they run that playbook and they see if it works. They're going to do something to keep Trump away.
But that would be in Virginia. Who are they going to win?
No, I'm talking about the 2022 race overall. I'm saying let's say they go into other races in 2022, right? We already have said it. I'm predicting that the Democrats going to lose big. If they run the Virginia playbook in other races, let's say, right, in other states that, there may be they could be potential, you don't know which way they could go, that they could flip or not flip or why not, right? And they run that Virginia playbook, which is what they talk about a lot, and they win using that playbook in 2022, they may say, oh, wait, we don't need Trump. We could run somebody else on this playbook and we could potentially win.
The CTR playbook?
Not for presidency.
The CRT playbook, the critical that's dead. I feel like that topic's died.
Yeah, that topic is never going to die because the Republicans going to run on one message.
No, that topic's dead. It's pretty much dead. They'll find something else. They're
probably looking. Yeah, they're on the hunt right now.
They'll probably bring it back a little bit, but they're
going to try to bring it back too.
All they do is no fear. They'll find some fear-mongering thing, just like the caravans was the topic du jour at one point. Then it was CRT. They'll find something else. But the thing is, the thing for the midterms is not going to be the same playbook as for the presidency because Trump is going to be around. So the only way to run without Trump is by co-opting Trump, by being more crazy than Trump.
That's the question. Who's going to be more crazy than Trump? Like, who could defeat Trump?
Tucker.
Chris Christie. I think Tucker. DeSantis cannot beat Trump.
I think DeSantis
could beat Trump.
In a primary, them running in the same primary?
Yeah, correct.
Nah, I don't think so.
But I think, I think the Republican Party is going to find out, and then they're going to turn on him by using the 14th Amendment, Session 3. And they're going to make sure he doesn't run in 2024.
Well, Trump is going to raise hell. He's going to raise hell.
I would more think
I think the Republican Party
in New York. John, I think Tish James in New York, all these different they're suing them or they're bring them up for tax evasion. That might hit him. But go ahead, John.
Yeah, no, I think the Republican Party is going to turn on him. I really think. As you see that you're saying he's losing his power. A lot of people are going away. I think they're going to turn on him and they're just going to find a way to get rid of him. And I think that's going to be the Republican Party is going to do that. And then they're going to just say, well, here's what we're going to run on. And like you said, they're going to find a message to get behind it. And they definitely going to win the House, the Senate, and the presidency in 2024 because there's nothing that Democrat has really given us to really say, let's go vote for Joe Biden again.
Well, what makes us feel like...
Real quick, Easy. I'm sorry. Hold on to your thought real quick. I just want to do a quick vote. And people in chat, let me know as well. Mia, Holly, let me know. Bendone, is the Democrats going to keep the House are they going to keep the Senate? So what's your prediction for both? Are they going to lose both? And you can say pass if you don't know.
I feel like they're going to lose both. I feel like they've been very quiet.
Okay.
These
John,
but it's been dead.
But they definitely going to lose both.
Both. Izzy.
Yeah, I agree. They're getting destroyed.
Carlito.
I don't know. I think it could go. I think it could go either way still.
All right.
I think they definitely can lose. But one article that I saw recently said that the whole gerrymandering thing didn't go. It wasn't as bad.
As powerful. Yeah, I heard about that too.
So they might squeak by the skin of their teeth. So I'm not gonna say 100% they're gonna get blown out. I think they still got a chance.
On what though? On what platform?
Exactly.
Good. That's what I was going to go with.
I just think the number of voters that are going to stay home is going to be big.
But listen, every election is different when it comes to like representatives. They could have different
it's midterms,
platforms, different things. It's not gonna run this like same. You're not gonna run the same way. Like Katie Porter, she's one of the more left leaning people in Congress. And she's in a district that was purple
red before, purple district
to red. So
and here's what happened. Here's what's going to happen, because what thing is that a lot of people are banking, the left is going to forget and the stuff. Those people, the progressive caucus, mess a lot of stuff up because they promised this. And those people like Katie Porter voted for this in the promise that Joe Biden could get 50 votes. And a lot of those people, man, are going to, if she's going to get, if she won by 100,000 vote, or let's say she won by 1,500 votes, there may be 1,000 people that just not even going to vote and going to bother. And that's why, midterm, they're already a low turnout, and there's not going to be no excitement for these people. There's a lot of people out there, even though we could say whatever we would say, there's a lot of people that felt betrayed by by a lot of these people that are so-called lefty or progressive that voted for this bill, and that they're still angry about it. So if they don't do something that's like dramatically, like, oh my God, they do something to get the base excited.
Student loan forgiveness.
People's going to stay home, and it's not about upset, but it just.
Let me give you a flip side.
Hold on, Carlito. I'm sorry, man, but I cut off Izzy. So Izzy, do you remember your point?
Yeah, but let's continue with this because I was going to go back to Trump. Let's continue
and then I want to we're in the same the same conversation that I wanted to go. Okay, do they have enough time? They have about 10 months. Can the Democrats do something to win? So let me go back to Carlito though. Carlito, continue, and then I'm going to ask that question.
So the way that a lot of Republicans run these local races is by nationalizing them, because a lot of the local electorate, they don't know what's going on. They're not tuned in like we are. So they might not even know what was promised. They don't know what's going on. So the only way that Republicans really like the go-to play is by making everything, socialism, or so if they happen to do something big, that could backfire in some districts too. So I can't say 100% either way that they're going to lose, because I'm leaning more towards losing for same reasons as you guys. But remember, local races are more unpredictable. But I can't say, and a lot of people are not in tune with the politics like we are. They don't know what's going on. Okay. It depends on their turnout, and which is low, but what kind of movement, what kind of movement they have behind them to get out the vote locally.
John, and then I'm going to ask that question.
Yeah, but that's what I'm trying. That's what I'm trying to get at. I think that when it comes to the left, we are a little bit more involved in politics than the regular average person, right? So using Katie Porter as an example, there's people in her district potentially, right, that wanted that BBB, right? She voted for this, and they were supposed to, get it into us by Christmas. They didn't. So there was a lot of people that was like, oh, well, Joe Biden's going to betray us. And they're like, no, we trust Joe Biden's word. So they're saying even in close races like that, those people may not show up because they still going to remember. So unless there's something that's like dramatically changed in the next 10 months, that those close races, you need everybody to come out to vote. And those Katie Porter supporter may not come out.
You said she voted for it. So she could easily blame Manchin for it.
But she's not going to come out because people said, that was the only power we had. That was the only power move we had left.
But you're telling me if you have a representative that voted right every step of the way, but they got blocked by somebody else, that you're going to kick them out?
I'm not saying I'm going to kick them out. What I'm trying to say is this. We all were on the same page when it came. Not all of us. Some of us were not. And when it came forced to vote, we said, "Nah, this not. You don't want to use that. You don't want to stuff that." Then they did something else. Well, I think this was the last straw where they had the power. They could have blocked it. They could have used the leverage, and they used it for nothing. So someone that may be like, and we're using her as an example because she's in a close race. Someone that in the left that was like, you know what, you use all your leverage. I've been sticking by you by all those things. You decided to trust Biden because Biden, at the end of the day, they could blame Manchin all they want. Biden told them that he could get 50 votes. He didn't. So at the end of the day, what are people going to remember? I'm not saying that it's going to be like, I'm not saying it's a slam dunk, but I'm saying potentially if you lose 100 vote, that race could be determined by 100 vote.
Right. You know what's crazy, John? Real quick, John. There's a person I just watched Rising, and Ryan Grimm brought up the whole segment was about how this person I was trying to look up the name, but she is part of the Progressive Caucus, and she's being challenged by somebody more progressive than her. And a talking point that she's using is that, oh, I'm more progressive than this challenger because I voted for the Build Back Better bill while this challenger said she wouldn't vote for it. While the whole point, the progressive strategy is not to try to do both. I'm sorry, I said Build Back Better. I meant the bipartisan infrastructure bill. You know, that the infrastructure bill that we're trying to say we won't vote for that unless you give us the Build Back Better. This progressive is saying like, oh, I voted for that bipartisan infrastructure, so I'm more progressive than this challenger. So you see how they're trying to twist the narrative? Yeah. They're trying to trick people. There's not a lot of people in the weeds like us that know what's going on. Go ahead, Izzy.
I was just going to say, I just realized I'm missing my clown meme. I need a clown meme now after you threw out some like that. Like,
yeah.
It's incredible how they try to twist anything.
They try to twist it. Go ahead, John. I think you was talking.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, I think, you know, for me, I feel that there's going to be a lot of people because they felt some type of way, regardless. So, you know, it is they're already using the same, you know, recipe as before. Oh, vote like this is your last election of your timeline, whatever it is. But what I'm saying is there's going to be some people that are fed up and they're going to be like, you know what, I'm done. It doesn't really matter. They didn't use the leverage, you know, so what's the point, right? So if close races, you cannot lose those type of people because it may be the one that determined the race.
Yeah. But
that's
you
all
can
I'm saying.
Automatically assume. Let me give you an analogy. There's a lot of polls that come out when people ask them how they feel about their kids' teachers or their particular schools, and they say like, "We love our teachers, our school, whatever." You asking them, "What's the state of education in this country?" "Oh, it sucks," and government this or whatever. The same way with the politicians, you could say they hate the overall Congress, low approval rating, whatever, but they like the Congress people themselves voting for, you know, at least fighting for what they believe, for what they want.
But John's point though is that those are the people who would say that are the people who are actively engaged in politics and actively, you know, John's point is that you're going to lose a bunch of people who just aren't going to show up. He's not saying that, you know, a whole bunch of people are going to be like, oh, F Katie Porter, let's all vote Republican now. They're just not going to show up. They're just not going to get off the couch.
But that's the same people that may not even be aware. That's the same people that whatever they're going to be listening to is going to be the Republicans nationalizing
or they don't listen to anything because they're not going to be actively engaged enough.
But
so how are they going to like or dislike anybody?
No. But what I'm saying to you, they're going to be people. There's going to be people. It's the same thing, you know, again, like we're talking about midterm. They don't come out. They may or may not come out. But you're going to have people that, for example, Obama, they voted for Obama and then they decided to not vote. They didn't go and vote for Trump. They just decided not to vote because they were like, oh, it's Hillary or Trump. I don't like either one of them, or like, you know, what's the point of voting? That's what I'm saying.
Those are the kind of people that never show up in the.
That's not true, though. That's not true because there's people that they showed up that they didn't show up the second time because they felt some type of way. They were like, my vote doesn't matter, so I'm just gonna stay home.
Oh, I'm talking about like
Obama's vote decreased from the first time.
I was talking about people that vote in the general, but not midterms.
No, I'm talking about people that think so. There may be people, for example. I'm not saying this is the accurate time. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying it's a slam dunk. I'm not saying I'm putting everything on it. I'm saying there could potentially be people that voted for someone like Katie Porter, right? That they say, oh, you know what? We needed someone change. And they may be those people that wanted the BBB. Those may be people that wanted to be like progressive says, you know what? The young, I wanted you to go in there and hold your ground and now you didn't hold your ground. We didn't get anything. What's the point? So they may just stay home. They're not going to go and vote for the Republican challenge and be like, oh, let's get rid of Porter. Like, she's terrible. They just not going to show up. And in close election like that, that may be the determining factor. That's all I'm saying.
Okay. I mean, well, that's a valid point. That stuff like that could happen, at least for some voters.
Let me just show this person real quick. This is Betty. This is The Intercept, and they have an article on this very topic. Minnesota Representative Betty McCollum is facing a serious primary challenge from the left. And so she calls herself a progressive, and this is the person I was talking about. And then this is the person challenging her right here. So I think it doesn't hurt for us to get somebody more to the left, So she's like a quiet progressive. Like, wait, what are we laughing about?
I see you, man.
Okay. Like my current representative is Bonnie Watson Coleman, and she's part of the Progressive Caucus. And the good thing about having someone like her is that I never really have to call, make a phone call and say, hey, I need you to support Medicare for All, that bill. I need you to become a co-sponsor, because she always does it already. But you don't see her as an activist progressive, meaning that she's out there actively pushing the progressive values, going on the steps like Cori Bush did to try to make sure that people don't get kicked out of houses. So I would consider this person, Betty, in that category. So hopefully if we could get this other progressive person in there, there'll be more of an activist progressive.
But is the Progressive Caucus as a caucus support Medicare for All? Because the Progressive Caucus has Richie Torres as part of their members. So it's like there's like about 95.
Richie Torres supports Medicare for All.
He does?
Listen.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of people support it when they know it can't pass.
That's true too. That's a good point. There's one thing to say.
But let me
he didn't run on that. He didn't.
That's why they wanted to force the vote, right? That's why they wanted.
Mira el otro, coño. Listen. So anyway,
hey, YouTube knows Spanish too. Don't forget that.
Hey, yep. Go get us canceled on here.
Coño is not a bad word.
Hey, go ahead. Go ahead.
To my mom.
Go ahead.
Now, but the one point I want to bring out, that this is a problem with the left, that the right doesn't have, is that when you have like the Tea Party people, for example, they try to obstruct the whatever. They don't get what they want, they try to obstruct, but they're bombastic. They make a big deal. And then the people keep voting for them into Congress again and again and again, because they just see them making a scene, making a show. We fighting for you, stuff like that. So they don't. The Democrats are quick to be like, "Oh, this person, he didn't do exactly what I wanted, so I'm gonna stay home and chill."
Yeah.
So we more finicky.
All right, so let me give my answer to this thing. I think that the only way the Democrats can turn around their mess of a first year in Biden administration, they got some things done, but not enough to have a lot of energy out there for the next election. I think Biden has to do executive orders, man. That's it. Party done. Stop trying to convince Manchin. But the problem is, and I'm coming to this conclusion, and probably people going to say you should have already come to this conclusion. Biden is not a progressive, and he's not. He does his own bill back better bill. He doesn't care about it.
Yeah,
he doesn't.
He's just making a show. He's
just making a show. So he's perfectly fine.
He's probably giving Manchin a bag in the bag. Yeah, thanks for taking all the parts from me, boy. I appreciate it.
Probably.
I'm sorry.
But again, if you look at it, the things that Biden says, what was he said the other day? He's like, "Oh, the economy is great. We don't need to do no help to people, because if we give people money, they just want to stay home, and we're not trying to create a lazy blah blah blah." Like, he literally used the Republican talking points on why they wouldn't even consider another stimulus or another something, like, because they think the economy is great. So, on
the flip side, let me say that, first of all, Democrats going to Democrat, so we can't expect them to do that much for us in the first place. So, whatever with that. But if they wanted to like keep some status quo, they could be smarter about it, because the other things like that Trump was saying, oh, the economy, this and that, they could say the same thing, even though there's a lot of people that are still unemployed or they call it, what they call it, like retired, like not forced retirement, whatever. There's a lot of people not doing well. The stock market has been like booming. The real estate has been booming. So they could use that to be like to fight back against the Republicans. They're always talking about supply chain this and everything, gas prices or whatever. They don't fight. They're like the worst of both worlds. They suck at being Democrats and they suck at being progressive too.
All right, so let's move on from 2022. I think I even agree they're gonna lose. I don't even care if they're gonna lose the House or the Senate. They're gonna lose. It doesn't even matter. 2024, real quick. People, it is really early to think about 2024. But if we're gonna strategize and hopefully get somebody that we want to win, I want to ask you guys a question. So, should a progressive? I think we're ready. I've been looking in the media or listening, and it seems like the squad is not going to put up a challenger to Biden in 2024. And there's an article that already came out about this. And they suggest in the article, they're saying that the progressives will put up a challenger. The question is that the challenge is going to come from the outside. So it might be like a Nina Turner or a Marianne Williamson. So my question before I don't want to lead the witness. So I'm not going to give what I think that challenger should do. I'm going to first pose you guys what you guys think about that.
Yeah, they're gonna run. They're gonna run somebody. They're not gonna run. They're gonna run somebody that could potentially. I don't see a Nina Turner kind of like winning and stuff like that. I potentially could see like the new mayor of Boston, Michelle Wu. I think. She could potentially be someone that it may not be all the way to the left, but she's progressive. She runs into some progressive point. She is Elizabeth Warren. What is it? Disciple they call her. So
okay.
You never know. But you gotta look out like outside the box, right? Because we could talk. Even though Warren is Warren, right? In 2016, if Warren would have ran, Warren probably would have won, right? So. We got to start thinking that way of potentially, if you're going to be smart, you got to kind of see like someone that could, make some noise and could get different type of, somebody that could get behind it. But
dark horse.
First of all, real quick, John, I think that Elizabeth Warren has proven that she's such a bad politician. I was a big Elizabeth Warren fan back in 2014, and I wanted her to run, and I thought she would win a run. But she's been proving herself to be such a bad politician. I don't know if she could have beat Trump. That's a good question.
No,
but anyway,
I think in 2016 she could probably, because she would have had she would have had the people. But I'm just giving probably thinking out loud of people that you could potentially bring in, right? Like again, I don't see how a Nina Turner, something maybe if Jesse Ventura goes in the third party, maybe make some noise. You know what I mean? Like I
heard he's not running again. I heard Jesse is not running, so yeah.
I don't think we have a clear. I haven't seen somebody clear.
I got somebody.
Yeah,
Carlito, go ahead, buddy.
I got somebody, but they're not gonna say anything until if they run. They won't say anything until 2023, and that's Stacey Abrams.
Stacey Abrams is your person.
I don't think she's gonna. I don't think she's gonna challenge Biden.
I don't. Well,
yeah.
Yeah,
exactly. She's establishment.
She'll run. Then the next term. Then
yeah, she's not going to challenge. We think potentially people that could challenge.
I forgot. I thought Biden will die or something by then. I'm sorry.
Oh damn! Oh, Lord. Jesus.
Yeah.
All right.
He already said he's going to run again, and they're already talking about the same ticket again. And I don't see how that ticket.
Okay. Yeah. Nobody. There's not going to be no serious challenger at all. If Biden runs again, there's not going to be no serious progressive challenger.
You said if Biden does run again, there's no progressive challenger.
There's not going to be anybody that's going to get like a lot of traction. There's going to be people trying to challenge him, but nobody's going to get traction.
Would Bernie go back up?
No.
He won't challenge his friend.
But if Bernie has a candidate that could go after Biden, that cannot say he's not, Biden's my friend, like he could go after him. I think you could have something like he just, if Bernie gets behind someone, you could have that Bernie movement still kind of like, but I don't have, the only person that I could think of that if right now that's showing some promising and, she could get the Asian vote, she could possibly get a Latino vote. I follow her campaign, like I follow how she ran in the Boston mayoral race, potentially. I mean, Easy Boy in New York talking about that he wants to be the Democrat, that thing. So he may throw his name out there and challenge Biden, but
Jamal,
no,
that
Eric,
person who you talking
Eric
about?
Adam.
Oh no.
Nah.
The guy that
when it comes to second terms, the main thing is keeping power.
Yeah.
It'd be super rare for anybody serious to challenge the incumbent. Usually just the incumbent and then let the other people fight it out.
You mean and win, or you mean super rare that it happens, period? Because this happened.
The super rare that it happens that
Period?
somebody with that has a real chance to be the incumbent.
Because Ted Kennedy ran the primary against Carter in his second term, and he came close. Apparently, he came close, but he lost. But that also weakened Carter enough that he didn't win. But I think there's many reasons why he didn't win, actually. But then when was another time? Bernie threatened to primary Obama, but I don't know what insider deals happened, but he didn't. Eventually, he did not.
Yeah, if anybody seriously challenges Biden, is going to be somebody out of left field.
That's the whole point, though. It's not going to be a squad member because the squad
probably not even
is
going to
inside.
be anybody in office.
So that's what I'm saying. Marianne Williamson is one of them. So here's the key.
But do you see her like being a serious challenger though? Like she could run.
This is my key. This is my key. Wait, Izzy, I would love to know why. So you're saying no to what? Marianne Williamson being the challenger?
Being a serious challenger.
Yeah, she has no chance. Absolutely zero chance. Okay. I mean, I personally don't think any progressive is going to run against Biden. That's me. Even an outsider, I just don't.
Even an outsider?
They're going to have somebody.
Like who? Like
it's definitely going to happen. It's just a matter of who it is. It's going to happen. It's just a matter of who.
There's going to be some like Green Party people and stuff like that.
Not a Green Party person. I'm talking about in the Democratic party. But go ahead, John.
They're going to run somebody in the Democratic Party, and what's going to happen is if Biden is there, they could no longer. Hopefully by that time we'll be out of a pandemic. Biden cannot hide, and he cannot hide from this. So they're going to have to put him out there. The Democratic Party can't just go and say, "Okay, well, forget it. We're not going to pay attention to you." And they're going to think, and Biden's not going to be able to he's not going to be able to say anything. So if you have somebody that could go after him, there could be potential there. Clyburn is going to be probably gone by then. So you're not going to have North Carolina. You're not going to have African-American vote mess that up. So there could potentially be there. I wouldn't say like there's not like a serious challenge. I think it's just Biden is so weak and so bad that I think someone decent
so weak
go
to
after him.
So weak to who?
As much as you guys want to say stuff like that, the Democrats cannot win without the left. So if you have someone in the left that could energize, that can continue to stuff, that's at 20 to 25% of the vote. At the end of the day, if somebody's there, they could get that. So
I got a strategy that I think is a sure win, but it's half of it. Whoever is going to challenge Biden has to run on executive orders. So I would say don't do 20 say I promise to do this 20 executive orders. Pick a good 2 or 3, right? That can really excite the base and say on day 1, I'm going to sign these executive orders, and I dare Republicans or corporate Democrats to challenge it, because executive orders could be challenged. It could go to the courts and whatever. But if you can do that, I think that's half of it. The other half is you got to have some kind of charisma, and you have to have political savvy. So I'm thinking about debates. You got to be able to know how to talk in a debate.
You got a
message.
Name?
So I really like Marianne Williamson, but I don't know if she's got that gravitas. And I thought she was very shaky on Medicare for All. I think now she's for it, but she was shaky on it. It made me very question her a lot. Even though I've had conversations with her, I think she's a great person. But that's my concerns for her. And I don't have anybody just yet. I'm gonna throw out somebody out there, and you guys let me know if I'm crazy or not. But I think his name is who I'm gonna say.
The CEO of the Seattle dude.
You did? How? Wow! How the hell you like read my mind?
It makes sense.
Yeah,
man. It makes sense.
That's exactly where I was going. Dan Price, I think that's his name. Is his name Dan Price? Right?
Yeah. Dan Price. Yeah.
So I don't support him just yet. I don't. So Dan Price is the guy that, from the janitor all the way up, he has a minimum wage of $70,000 a year for all his employees, and he has his Twitter is on fire. Like he has a great Twitter account that he's always talking about progressive value.
He just got shadow banned, right?
Yeah, I think yes. So, but this is the thing. I don't support him just yet. He would have to go through the people's gauntlet first. You know, I'm not what you call Michael Moore, who's like, oh, Tom Hanks. So the Republicans have Donald Trump. We're gonna get Tom Hanks to run against that. But what's Tom Hanks' values? Like, we don't have a clue what he stands for.
Well,
so Dan Price,
minimum wage.
You said what?
We know where he is a minimum wage.
Who is
Dan Price?
Dan Price? Yeah, we do. Exactly. That's he's halfway there. But I do want him. I don't want to be Michael Moore. And I'll say, Dan, before we support you, do the people's gauntlet. Let's see where you stand on all these various issues. And if we like it as a progressive community, then boom, you got us.
Yeah, he could be somebody that could get some people behind him. But you know, like I said, it's somebody that's not even in office, complete outsider, and he could talk about, hey, I run a business, profitable. I know, you know, talk that up, and they say, oh, he's a socialist or communist, giving all this money. Yeah, but my company still thrive. I gave them my people good paying wages, and my company still made money. So I know what I'm doing. So
that's like the best of both worlds right there. He's a capitalist, but he's doing socialist values.
Yeah.
Like
so I don't know how lefty he will be, or like Medicare for all and stuff like that. So that could be somebody that could be maybe even more of a challenge to Biden, because he could get some of those centrist voters on his side.
Yes. So that's what messaging. Like I've seen a couple of interviews, and he seems to be able to talk articulately. So I'll be curious to see how he would perform in a debate. I'll be curious.
I don't even know if she's going to be old enough, but I think that, and hopefully we'll go back 4 years from now. And look, I think the only one that could potentially, if the progressive, we're gonna run somebody that's the mayor of Boston.
Man, she's fresh. She's new. She don't got.
You know what I like about her though, Carlito? She ran on free public transportation, right? Mm-hmm. So she's in office, and she could easily say, "Oh, I'm in office now," whatever. No, she set up.
She's gonna be in office.
Hold on, let me finish my point real quick, John. Let me just finish my point.
Sorry.
I think she put aside $9 million to do a pilot of 3 bus lines to be free. So that's on your way, huh? Oh, that's for John. So that's her on her way to free public transportation. So I like that. As somebody, you know, I'm not the type of person like, oh, you get in office the next day, you got to have completely free transportation. She's piloting out. She's gonna see how much it costs. But go ahead, John.
But what I'm saying is, when like that whole experience and stuff went out the window, like you can't talk about because you have like Dan Price or what you're talking about. Trump showed that anybody in politics could win. Yeah. When you look at the way that she ran her campaign, I'm talking about someone that could run a campaign the way that she ran it. She doesn't have to go all the way to the left. The way that she ran her campaign, if she has enough to go after Biden, she could potentially do something. I'm not saying, oh, it's guaranteed London that she won. That's someone that I think that, you know, people could get behind. You know, she could get behind it, and she could motivate people.
You can't use the Trump line on her, because Trump was a celebrity. That's what he had that she doesn't. He was known by everybody, you know, whether you're into politics or not. So he had the celebrity factor there. She's a relatively unknown, you know. So
correct, but she's gonna give a shout out. She's gonna have so many years of experience and stuff. You look at another thing she's doing. She's taking all these vacant hotels, and she says she wants to end homeless in the city of Boston, and she's taking all these empty hotels and she converted them into that. So she could run on like decreasing homelessness, public transportation. Like she could run on stuff that people.
I'm not mad at that.
It's too soon.
I'm not mad at it. If she continues doing this trend, because like I said, it can't be a one and done. Look at de Blasio. I was very impressed when he did free pre-K in New York City. And I was like, that's he rode that to second term. After that, after free pre-K, like he just fell off the map, like off the cliff. Boom, gone.
Yeah, she did. So that part, she's somebody that's not gonna challenge Biden. That's somebody that she could build up her charisma she could build up. And her accolades to then run later on when it's an open field.
Let me give a shout out to all our peoples in the chat. So E. Heller is in the chat. Much love to you. And yes, I saw Kit on Harlan's Media today, and I love the guy. He gave me a shout out and also revealed that Twitter's continuing to suppress me in some other way. They're like, excuse me, I have case sensitive information like porn on my Twitter account for some reason. I don't know why Twitter's doing that. Yeah, I guess so. Political porn. Weird Pilgrim, much love to you. And there's somebody else that's new in the chat.
For nothing.
Inventor MJM. Much love to you, MJM. Yeah. So
Harry Potter.
I don't know if I don't know if anybody else has anything to say about 2024, but we can move on. Any last words about that?
There's nobody.
There's nobody. I think
nobody.
Executive orders, though. They got to run on executive orders. They can't just because otherwise there's no hope. Look at
it's like too aggressive.
Look at what's his name? Joe Manchin and Kristen Sinema. They're holding stuff up. All right. If I'm going to vote for you, promise me executive orders, and when you get in there, you got to do it.
And if you lose the House and the Senate, that's even less power.
Exactly.
So let me ask you a question.
I don't see anybody. It's got to be somebody like we ain't even thinking about right now.
So let me ask you this question then. So you think that if they run Biden Harris ticket again, they could win, or they just throwing in the towel? Because I don't see that ticket winning.
I think they can. It depends who it is.
They barely won in 2020.
If it's Trump again, they're gonna win. They're gonna win.
Oh, if it's Trump again, you think they're going to win?
Yeah.
You crazy. Oh, no,
yeah.
No, you're nuts.
Hello. January 6th? That's enough to get. Come on, man.
There's so many people disenfranchised right now that it's a crap shot, actually. If Trump
if anybody cares about at least having a feeling of democracy,
I think that's knowing Georgia is causing your brain.
It's too cold.
Or something. It's too cold. You can't think right now.
I'm telling you, man.
I don't think
if Trump come back in 2024, it's never gonna be close.
Listen, you got I mean, maybe you guys don't see the gravity of the situation. If Trump wins again,
we understand the gravity of the situation. I think that we're talking about people.
So the lesser two evil things that everybody hates. That's definitely why they will win,
bro. You know how many progressives
people are so disappointed in Joe right now.
Yo, you know how many progressives that voted for Joe like without not wanting to vote for him? Yeah, that they definitely not voting for Joe now.
All right, well,
I'm
super disappointed, but I'm definitely, man. I'll vote 5 times for Joe over Trump right now.
I hear you.
I hear what you're
saying
because I care about listen. We straight up. It'll be the death of the country, straight up. All right, we're gonna have a dictator. You understand how big it is?
You understand that, but people don't care. Like people.
All right, then people don't care. Then
whatever. That's why we need a challenger to get somebody who.
Yeah, whatever. I mean, people like
Izzy wants to say something. Go ahead.
Gotta be realistic sometimes, man. You can't have. Like I'm disappointed. I hate it, but I'm the same person that tells you don't be expecting Democrats to do anything for you. But at the same time, you gotta look when death is looking you in your face.
Why are we voting for people who not gonna do nothing for us? That's why I didn't vote for Biden last time.
No matter what.
Honestly, but go ahead, Izzy.
No, I wasn't even really going to say anything, but just to that point, I mean, Carlito's talking as if he's trying to convince like Gabe to vote for Biden. Okay, fine. But at the end of the day, that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about 70 million something people voting for Biden again. And it's just not, it just ain't going to happen. Exactly. Even in the face of death, I really don't see the conglomerate, the people coming through again like that. I just don't see it.
So I was watching Rising again, and Ryan Grimm makes a great point. The video was about Michelle Obama coming out and saying, "Oh, it's an existential threat to democracy that we have to vote." The ballot, yeah. This all over again. The same thing that Democrats keep bringing out every election season.
It is true.
It is true. But he brought up this point, right? He said, "So you're trying to convince people who normally don't vote to vote because democracy depends on it when they don't
care about democracy."
All right, so then that's a different question. The thing is, when you go vote, I'm just gonna go, who's better for me right now? That's it.
Yeah, nobody. We're not arguing who us on the panel.
But that's the reason why I'll vote for Biden. I'll just be like,
but we're not arguing that. You're telling us to be realistic, and you're not being realistic of the people.
I'm telling you,
there's people out there that we'll go back to this. There's people out there that went out and voted for the first time because Joe Biden promised X, Y, and Z. That there's same people that they don't, the Democrat talk about January 6th. Why haven't the Democrat done something about it? You have people that don't think about that. They don't think like we think, like, oh, it's that for something. They just gonna be like, you know what? I don't give a shit because I'm gonna still, if I don't work, I don't get paid. If I don't do this, and they're just not gonna care, they're not gonna show up. So if Trump, even with like how many crazy people voted, 70 million or something, and Biden won by about 4 million votes or whatever it was closer than what it should have been. I don't see those people in Georgia standing 8 hours in line to vote for Joe again. I just don't see it.
Yeah.
We'll see.
All right. Let's move on back to the tweets. So this person, Ethan Crumley, this is the person that did the shooting. And it said he searched for guns online. He searched for school shootings online. He bought Nazi propaganda online, made Molotov cocktails. He sketched out what he planned to do, filmed himself killing animals, kept a severed bird head in his room, and his parents got him a gun. This is the situation.
Yo, the crazy part was the picture that they used versus the picture of like his actual age.
So guys,
before the beginning, that little
like that 4-year-old.
Yeah,
so everybody,
that's what they
everybody,
do, unless it's somebody of color.
We've done many stories, various stories, and we all know about the Patriot Act. We know we've done articles where the overreach of government. The other day they're looking at our car data. There's so many other examples of them overreaching.
They overreached into your computer.
No,
they told you want to talk?
No, they were like, this guy's about to expose us. Google.
YouTube was like,
yo, he got DDoSed.
YouTube was like, goodbye.
Yeah, but let me let me tell you a little story related. What somebody told me today. They're working on some project for a job, and there was a company. They were giving them a demo to basically do kind of background checks and find people basically for collections. All right, you know how they chase you, they find you wherever you are to call you. So when they were doing the demo, they said, "Give me a name and a date of birth, anybody," and he gave them a half sister's name. They had different last name, half sister's name and date of birth. They find out everything about her, her history of phone numbers of the year, her history of addresses, and every single family member she has, and inform them.
Yo, you could do that with a Google search right now. You don't even have to pay for a service, because a lot of you go to a lot of these websites and they're like, oh, pay us, and then we'll give you all the rest of the data.
That's the thing. You still got to pay for it. They give you a little taste, so then you could, they block out. So this is like a company that does that, and they charge. You got to pay like a monthly fee or whatever. But to run a report, they charge $3.
Wow, what a barrier!
People's Carfax.
$3 for a report, and you could find everybody's entire history.
All right, I'm back on my Mac.
And that's a private company. So if you want to talk about government overreach, we already got enough everywhere else, man.
You guys can hear me?
Yeah, welcome back.
Yeah, my PC crashed the second time. This is the first time it's done this. We've had slowness in the past, but this is the second time it crashed. So I'll do the rest of the show from the Mac. And unfortunately, I won't be able to bring up my Twitter bookmarks discussion points. But I think the point I was trying to make was have government that's looking into all these different things, and then when you actually need them to kind of be invasive on certain things, like the shooter, and prevent him from shooting up a school, they're not doing their job there.
But do you see you did see he was white, right?
That too.
Okay,
that too.
Just
what's interesting is I think his name was Daniel Shover. That person that got killed by the cop, he was white too. So it's going to bleed over.
Yeah, well, that was, we're talking about digging into people and red flags or whatever. This one is just about, cops ego tripping. It doesn't matter. I mean, it could be a black cop. If it's a cop, they got that blue line, man. They don't matter once you go in there.
And they got that mentality too. It's a systemic thing. It's a systemic.
Yeah, somebody told me when they go on the training videos, man, they like when they're in training, they showing videos of like cops getting killed, so they already come out there afraid.
That makes sense.
Wow,
that makes sense.
Yeah,
propaganda.
So it's propaganda. That's to say, right?
Yep. Man, see, right now I would bring up another tweet.
Send it to
Snorlax.
Oh, you know what, Bendone? Do you have those articles? Because we haven't. That's something we could end off with. Actually, we got 6 minutes left. If you could bring up the articles, do you have any? You could bring up any random article.
I got you guys right now. Hold on.
Yeah. So we gotta we're not doing Carlito's rundown today. This show was just a freestyle. There's so much stuff to catch up on, and just to chat with everybody in the chat. Much love to Holly and all Chris, PJ, and everybody else. And but next week hopefully we have at least one person confirmed, which is Ali Dulcimer, who's running. She did the People's Gauntlet. She completed all 5 gauntlets. And I'm hoping to get one other person who's running for office right now. So it'll be the first time we'll have 2 ladies or women on our show next Monday. So looking forward to that. So here's an article. LAPD officers fired for catching a Snorlax instead of burglar denied appeal. What?
So these 2 officers ignored a call to go help support a burglary to go catch his Pokemon. This is why Snorlax is trending right now on Twitter.
Wow.
And they try to say that the squad car should have never been recording them. It's a violation.
So they got caught. They got mad. They got caught.
Yeah, because of the squad car recording. So they got fired for that.
Yeah, I tell you, the car cameras and body cameras have already saved so many different people. Like they've caught cops literally planting drugs on people, on suspects, and then charging them with drugs. And the body cam was able to exonerate them. Like it's paying off dividends. That's crazy.
There's 2 officers ignored a request for backup. They were stationed near a robbery in progress, and they just ignored the call and left.
Did they at least catch him?
I don't know.
All right, let's move on. Let's do a rapid fire with the articles if we can.
All right, let's see here. We got this article right here.
So these chemicals disrupt the sexual development of children, and they're everywhere. So EPA, you're not doing your job. That's pretty much where we're at.
They don't care. If it's not the vaccine, they don't care.
It's crazy how much stuff is in our chemicals and in our everyday life.
Well, people don't trust the science.
All right, college costs have increased by 169% since 1980, but pay for young workers is up by just 19%. Yeah, I remember Ron Paul back. He said, "Oh, I paid for my college when I worked at a gas station. I forgot some like low wage." It's like, yeah, because you pay like $50 a semester. Like,
yeah. Every time I get like, I want to slap a boomer every time they say some crap like that. Back in my day, I worked and I was able to pay for my house and my kids' college. I'm like, yo, cost of living was you could live over
one single job
a year, man.
Yeah,
soda was 5 cents.
Crazy. At least 15 lawmakers who shape U.S. defense policy have investments in military contracts. So finally, Ossoff, I believe his name, and the senator, your senator, Carlito, he's proposing about to propose, for Congress people not to be able to have stocks, right? Or trade stocks.
Not to be invested. They got to do blind traps at most.
Yeah. So that's in direct conflict with what Nancy Pelosi said a week or two ago, where she was saying, we should be able to participate in the free market. It's like, why don't you allow the CEOs then? CEOs who can do insider trading and all these other people. There's a purpose for it. And
they literally do inside trading. That's all they do. It's like literally like they have the
Congress people, right?
Yeah, they have the information, and then they go ahead and buy X amount or put an option call, and then a week later the bill comes out.
Yeah, or they tell their brother to do it.
Yeah.
Brother-in-law.
It's a reason why Congress people go into Congress. They might have 2 million, 3 million, and then like 20 years later, they have like 100. Like Nancy Pelosi have like $100 million now. It's crazy.
300. She's worth about 300 million.
300. Wow. J.P. Morgan hit with 200 million in fines for letting employees use WhatsApp to evade regulator reach. That's interesting.
Jesus.
Wow.
Only 200 million though.
That's it. I know.
Paid by the
government. That's why these banks and this corporation will always do. They will always push the limit because how much they made? Like 200 million to them is like nothing. That's like $20 to us. That's like $20 to us.
That's why I will always have a sore spot for Elliot Spitzer, even though he's not really a progressive. He's like not my type of progressive because he supported Martin O'Malley first before Bernie Sanders, but at least he didn't support Hillary Clinton back in 2016. But they call him the sheriff of Wall Street for a reason. And if he was whoever be in charge of the fines, you could add a couple zeros to that. He would definitely hit them hard.
Yeah, my take is any fine should be at least whatever amount you made off of that criminal activity. And then you
double it.
It should be double. I was just about to say that. It should be double.
Yeah, that's why I said
you got to disincentivize them even attempting to do it, Because otherwise, if it's just a wash, they'd be like, all right, it's a wash. But if you punish them by saying double the amount, then they'll think twice.
Kind of like the Astros. Actually have to give them real punishment to de-incentivize them from doing it again.
Yeah, they didn't do it. The players didn't get nothing, so they... But the players didn't get anything, so they're probably...
The players cut a deal, right?
Yeah, they did what the banks do. They said, "Let's go to the deal. I'll give you all the information you want, but you can't do anything to us." But the
thing is, the banks were caught. It wasn't even like there was an employee that said, "Hey, I'll give you the banks, but just give me a deal." They got caught, and that was their.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like all these banks, all these corporations, they will always do everything because nobody's going to jail, nobody's losing their job. The JP Morgan dude is gonna get probably a big bonus because he made X amount of money, for the shareholder for himself. So it is what it is.
It is what it is. But it's 9:00. Much love to everybody. Help me shout out the crew. We got Inventor MJM. Thank you, and I saw you put. Thank you for my work as Case Study QB.
Quick nothing.
What's up?
No, the music was quick nutted. It was too fast.
Oh, it's going too fast, but just you put it low in the background, Bendo.
This year.
Much love to PJ Holly, PJ Chris, E Heller was in the chat. I don't know if you're still there, but much love to you, E Heller, who apparently has great deep dish pizza recipes. I know that from Heartlands Media. Hey, PJ Neat is in the building. I didn't see PJ Neat. Happy New Year, y'all. I'm at work, stopped in to say that. Okay, much love to Neat. If you watch this later, I'm giving you a shout out right now. Much love to you. And All for Nothing was in the chat earlier. Much love. Wear program also.
Shout out Mia.
Yo,
Maya. Shout out Maya. Maya.
No, see you guys gonna mess or John's gonna mix me up. But much love. Okay, and much love to the Patreon. Nancy Venture, Pedro Hernandez, Deborah, PJ Chris, and Akbash Akita. So much love to you. Oh, all right. That's the show. Any last words, guys? I'm gonna give it back to the panel. Any last words?
Yo, I think PJ Need is shadow ban because I didn't see him in the chat.
I didn't either.
Nah, yeah, it said Alan Amberster. You have to look for Alan Amberster.
Yeah, I didn't see that.
That's his name. Okay. Anybody else? Any last words before we out of here? We solved the 2024 problem, which I solved it, I should say, and that is to have a person run on executive orders, forgiving student loan debt, Medicare for all. Was just even if the pandemic is gone, even if COVID is done and solved by 2023, I'm still going to say we in a pandemic. We need Medicare for all for the whole country. And make an emergency action. That's going to be 2. And
then Cali's trying to do it.
What's up?
Statewide Medicare for all.
I know they're trying to do statewide the regular way, like through their Congress and stuff, which is the lobbyists keep stopping them. But as president, K Study QB is going to do executive orders to give everybody Medicare because we're in a pandemic. Even if COVID is unhandled by then, I'm still going to say, hey, you never know. We need it. Blah blah blah. Come up with some more, excuse.
Be a benevolent dictator.
Yeah.
Case Study QB is already doing his how to lose a campaign. How to lose a campaign strategy.
In 10 days.
Executive order.
That third one
it's such a losing message. Like you gotta
decriminalize marijuana. So wait, hold on, John. Wait, what are you serious or are you joking?
No, I'm dead serious, dude. The Republican will have a field day with you talking about, the president, you're gonna give him all this power. He's just gonna go across. We don't need a dictatorship. The Republican will eat you alive if you run in that.
Like, Trump taught us that we could do executive orders.
It doesn't matter. These people don't believe.
Once you're in office,
these people gonna believe. These people gonna believe whatever Fox News tells them. So you can't say I'm gonna run an executive order. You cannot run on that. You could do it when you're in office, but you cannot run on that.
Just do it anyway. You know why? Because you said people only care about what they could get. Then they could be like, hey, I don't care. I'm going to get mine. So,
John,
get democracy. We don't care about democracy. Just give me mine.
That's why Trump was Trump, because he didn't give a crap. He wasn't thinking about, if I do executive order.
But he didn't run an executive order.
Yeah, but Biden did.
And Biden did. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he did.
All right, anyway, much love to we in overtime already when we didn't even mean to. But any last words? Any last words? All right, guys. Much love to everybody.
Yeah, my last word is that you'll be like the Knicks, losers.
You gotta dig at me on the last. You got to do that. Damn. All right, John. I got you. I see you.
Did him dirty.
All right, guys. Much love to y'all in the chat. Adios.
Peace.